while it will be restored, perhaps the biggest technological change will be the projection equipment. We are committed to having the state-of-the-art digital projection technology. Because at the moment, there is a major distributor of art house independent films that will not let the Westdale show those films because of the poor quality of the projection equipment. That's going to change. And Fred Fuchs, again, fellow board member, has connections with all of these Hollywood people because although he actually was married at the chapel at McMaster in 1981, married a local girl, but lived in Hollywood literally Hollywood for 20 years and was in fact the president of Zoetrope Studios, which is Francis Ford Coppola's production company. So this guy is the real deal. Yeah. So Fred is committed to making sure that we are able to show the kinds of films that people want to see, that at the moment it's a bit tough to see in Hamilton because they don't tend to show up at the big multiplexes, and the Westdale has to run films for so long to try to make the money to pay the rent for the films that they've rented that it's just a little difficult. Not to mention they're not allowed to show films from one of the major distributors, and Fred knows these people personally.
Vision, not just going to be a movie house, it's going to be more like a community center where it's going to be available to a lot of different groups of people. But you expand, please, Jeremy.
Sure, and we've been having those conversations at lightning speed over the last couple of weeks as well, of everything from the student union having hundreds of community groups on campus, of whether that's different ethnic groups or different interest groups wanting to have events within the community and wanting to use maybe the Westdale as a way to have a bit of a better connection with the community of Westdale, bringing some of their commerce into the core of the community. AGH having an amazing film festival and wanting a new home for that, with the changes that happened at the Jackson Square Cinema, leaving them kind of out of a permanent home and wanting to find a solution for that. So we've had really great conversations with Tor and Ryan about that. And now we're, Hamilton is a music city, so we've been chatting about sort of where the music scene will play a role in this. It's likely not a space for our big, massive rock concerts when we're embedded in a neighborhood like that, but it's a great place for singer-songwriters. It's a fantastic place for stand-up comedy or for a chamber orchestra or something of that sort to start landing in that community. So giving all of those arts organizations that are creating amazing content throughout our city another home to connect with another community and a new audience, it's an absolutely perfect fit for that. And we were saying to a group of investors the other day, 5 years ago this might have been a tougher pitch. 10 years ago we would have been lunatics. But now it's absolutely making sense that so much of what's happening in the cultural community and sort of even beyond cultural, just sort of like the dynamics of Hamilton, are people are wanting to express themselves and wanting to get together. And the Westdale's right in the middle of a perfect neighborhood to be doing that, close to an LRT stop, knock on glass, and so many other things. I think it'll be a home to a lot of amazing expression as a community.
Yeah, so we think it will be a cultural hub and an economic hub. Absolutely. For the neighbor Westdale, for Ward 1, but also for Hamilton. Imagine though, so back to film, Doug. So we talked about guest speakers, whether it's Margaret Atwood coming to talk about her new book or something or whatever it is. But we also are committed to trying to offer Saturday matinees, which I think we're all old enough, no matter how young or old we are, to know what that means. And so we want to be able to create a community center, if you will, for film and other things. But imagine of a Saturday afternoon, hey, Grandpa, take your grandchildren, or Grandpa, go yourself. I'll be there, and we'll pretend like it was, a long time ago when we went to movies. That's going to happen, and we're going to make sure that we figure out ways to make that accessible to people, both financially, but also in terms of the kinds of stuff we're going to show. But we're also going to show art house films you don't get to see anywhere else. But you know about, or you hear about through TIFF in Toronto. So it's pretty exciting.
Watch City Matters at noon, 4, 6, and 10 p.m. right here on Cable 14 or anytime on cable14now.com.